In this video, I'm going to share 3 tips that I wish I really knew when I first started learning English. If you are a beginner or even an intermediate level, then stick around. These tips are really going to save you a lot of time. The first thing that got me was that I thought that grammar is the most important part of my English journey. I thought that grammar really helps you speak English fluently and it's going to help you tremendously in terms of English. But later on, I realized that grammar is not as important, but I also found out that listening is the most vital skill for you to improve your English. Actually, if you listen a lot, if you are consistent with the practice of listening a lot, then you are going to copy and adapt to the rhythm, pronunciation, and also the sentence structure that native speakers use on a daily basis. It actually prepares you for that English that is spoken on a daily basis. Your day-to-day English is going to improve and you are going to be able to communicate with a higher level and a higher confidence in English. So you should be a lot careful when it comes to listening. Listening really is a very big and vital part of your English learning journey. As you listen a lot, just like a baby listens to his mother and to his father, he or she, the little baby, is going to adapt to the language of his parents. So it's so important. So as he listens, as time goes by, the language really settles inside the baby's mind and system. So it's going to become automatic for him or her to speak the language. So this same process applies to you. If you keep listening a lot and if you're consistent with the practice of listening a lot, then you are absolutely going to copy the rhythm and you are going to actually reach the higher level of English. Actually, I see a lot of people looking for ways to try to mimic and copy and be exactly as a native speaker. A lot of people do this. I see them. And the reason that someone gets to that level of being able to communicate at a higher level, the same level as a native speaker, the reason behind it is listening a lot, actually. Listening a lot is the key to improving and coming and, hiring, leveling yourself up to this level. It is so much important and vital. Now, keep in mind that I'm not just undermining or saying something bad about grammar, because grammar is also important. I don't want to say that grammar isn't important. It is important. It actually is based on your perspective or based on your purpose. Actually, if you have a purpose of being able to communicate at a good level with a native speaker or to be able to understand native English when the native speakers speak it, then you need this kind of approach. You need this kind of mindset of listening a lot. But if you want to get a very higher education in terms of grammar section, then you can go ahead and study a lot of grammar, as I have done. Here's my book. I used to do this mistake in the days. It happens to everybody else. And it exactly happened to me here. So you don't actually, if it all depends on your purpose. If your purpose is grammar, then you can go ahead and study grammar a lot. You can dive deeper into the section of grammar. But if you want to communicate like a native speaker, or you want to be able to speak English fluently with confidence, then listening is your choice. Another thing that surprised me was that I thought that if I memorized more vocabs, if I attach myself to the practice of memorizing more vocabs on a daily basis, then I can actually improve my English. And I thought that this was a good practice, and I went on and found giant, big vocab books, and I tried to memorize more and more every single day. And after some time, the practice got boring for me. The practice of memorizing more words, it just became something that I didn't want to do anymore, because it was just as annoying as something very bad. I didn't want to do that anymore. And notice that at that point, when I thought that vocab learning was the basis of my English, at that point, I didn't actually focus on speaking a lot on a daily basis. And as I didn't speak a lot, I didn't use the vocabs that I memorized. The new vocabs that I memorized, that I absorbed, I didn't use them because I didn't speak a lot on a daily basis. Actually, everything about my vocab storage or speaking was just at a very low level. So that means that everything about me was just wrong. I was just in a wrong path of trying to become successful in English speaking fluency and overall English. And actually later on, it wasn't until some time that I realized that this isn't the right way. I should not do this. I should not overwhelm or even overwhelm myself with tons of vocabs or all those unnecessary and useless practices to improve my English. That wasn't the way, but I was wrong in it and I kept doing it. So if you want to improve your English, if you want to be on the right track, avoid trying to memorize more words and try to use the ones that you already know. And the third thing that actually got me was that consistency beats hard work, actually. And this is a little funny about me, but it just happened to me. I can't say anything. It's so hilarious and embarrassing, but I should say it so you guys don't make the same mistake as I did. You know, back in the days when I was trying to improve my fluency in English, I thought that if I keep, overloading myself with a lot of practices, if I try to work hard, actually, I can become much more fluent and better in English than my peers and the people who were with me in the same class or the people who were learning English. If I do work hard, then I can become much better than those people. And I did so. I applied on this wrong mindset. I went over and tried to find resources or vocabs or many YouTube or some kind of tutorial videos that tell you in 3 months you're going to become this much fluent in English and follow these tips and tricks and whatever. Everything was laid out for me. I found tons of resources to improve my English, and I overloaded myself with a lot of work. And I tried to do that, and I made schedules for the next week or for the next 2 days or for the day that was coming tomorrow. I was trying to prepare a schedule and try to be very consistent and disciplined when it came to learning English. But later on, after some time, I could not keep up with the process because the work was so much intense, so much hard. I was so much overloaded that I could not keep up with the process for 2 days. It was so hard. And I think if we are on the path of trying to, learn English and to grow our speaking or any skill that we have in terms of English language, we don't actually need to overload ourselves with a lot of work. Just keep some concise, schedule, very easy especially when you first started. In the beginning, keep it very simple, keep it very easy, and start with little and small, and then go ahead and improve and pile up more works upon the works that you are already doing. So don't overload yourself all of a sudden, because your body is going to make you quit. So actually, if we think scientifically, our body is not made to be overloaded with much work. Either it is physical work or mental work. It is not capable of holding or capable of controlling everything, especially hard stuff. All of a sudden, when you pressure it, when you put a lot of pressure on it, then it's going to lose its power, and in the end there is no success. Actually, there is failure. So you don't have to overload yourself with a lot of work. Just be gentle with yourself. Try to have small work and try to do them consistently. So the more consistent you are with some little small practices, the more your success is guaranteed. So try to be gentle with yourself, and the most important thing, try to be consistent with those practices that you are doing. So here are the 3 problems that I faced when I first was learning English back in the days. So I thought sharing these tips would be helpful for you guys. If you found this video helpful, then make sure to subscribe to my channel, hit the bell and like the video so it energizes me, and also I can be back with much more consistent and helpful lessons in the future. Thank you for watching.